In last video we have discussed about construction of GM counter, and it consists of a cylindrical chamber which acts as a cathode, and at the center an anode wire is placed, and at the point of contact of anode and cathode it is well insulated, and further this anode and cathode are connected to the high tension battery, and further these two are connected to the amplifier, and here it is having a radiation window. Okay, here I have shown this represents the noble gases such as argon and helium, and this represents the quenching agent, and we have added noble gases and quenching agent in the ratio of 10:1 ratio. Okay, now let us discuss working of the GM counter. That is, let us suppose an alpha or beta or gamma particle enter into GM tube through radiation window, and we know that, let us suppose an alpha particle enters into the GM tube, and this alpha particle is having a positive charge, and this positive charge is capable of ionizing the neutral gas atoms which are present in the cylindrical chamber. Okay, here I am going to explain. Let us suppose this is the cylindrical chamber, and here an alpha particle is entered and which is having a positive charge. Here I am going to consider, let us suppose this alpha particle is capable of ionizing only 3 gas molecules. Here I am going to take, it is able to ionize only 3 gas molecules. When here we know that ionization means this is the neutral gas atom and the alpha particle which is moving with the kinetic energy, and it is having a positive charge. Because of its positive charge, these electrons get attracted towards alpha particle and it emits from the atom, and then it emits from the atom, leaving behind the neutral atom as a positive, and electrons are emitted. Here let us suppose this alpha particle ionizes the first gas molecule while it is moving, and here a positive ion and an electron is produced, and similarly when alpha particle moving, and it also ionizes the second gas molecule by producing a positive ion and electron, and similarly while it is moving it also produces, and also it ionizes the another gas molecule and produces the positive ion and electron. And here the high voltage in the tube produces an electric field. That is, it is a anode is having positive charge and cathode is having a negative charge, and it produces the electric field inside the tube, and if the applied voltage is sufficiently strong, then the electrons which are emitted in the atom are attracted to the positive, are attracted to the anode, and the positively charged ions are attracted towards the cathode because it is having a positive charge and cathode is having a negative charge. Because of this, these positive ions are gets attracted towards the anode, gets attracted towards the cathode, and these emitted electrons are get attracted towards the central anode wire. Here I will show here. This is the central anode wire and this is the cathode wire. Here the positive charge is gets attracted towards the cathode, and the electron which is emitted is gets attracted towards the anode. And here one more thing, while the electron which is moving towards the anode, because of the strong electric field, this electron is moving with high kinetic energy, and on the way moving to anode, this electron is moving with a high kinetic energy because of the strong electric field. And while moving this electron, here I am going to show you, these are the atoms which are present in the cylindrical chamber, and while moving this electron, because of its high kinetic energy, and because of this is having a negative charge, and the electron which is revolving in the nucleus is also having a negative charge. Because of these two negative charges, they get repel each other, and because of this, the electron which is emitted from the atom, and here a single electron which becomes a two electrons. One is the initial electron and another one is the electrons which is emitted because of its kinetic energy. And similarly, this electron is going to emit another electron while it's moving to the anode, and also this electron, it emits another two electrons, and this electron emits other two electrons, and this electron emits other two electrons, and similarly here also same. These electrons further they emit electrons in the gas atoms, and we call this effect as a avalanche effect. Avalanche effect. Here the single electron which is emitted in the ionization process, this electron emits the lot of electron in the cylindrical chamber, and we call this effect as the avalanche effect. And also one more thing, while this electron moving towards the anode, because of the Bremsstrahlung effect here, well, electron moving inside the atom, because of its negative charge, this electron is going to bend, and here the electron is going to reduce its acceleration, and this reduced acceleration is emitted in the form of photon. And this photon here, well, atom moving towards the anode, this electron, because of this electron we are going to observe a Bremsstrahlung effect. Because of this Bremsstrahlung effect, a photon is emitted, and this photon is going to interact with, here I am going to show this photon, again it's going to interact with the gas atom, and it is going to emit the electron from the neutral atom of gas molecules. And again here, because of this photon which is produced from the Bremsstrahlung effect, it emits the another electron from the gas molecule, and this electron also moves towards the anode, and this also produces the avalanche effect. And here while moving, it also emits the photon due to the Bremsstrahlung effect, and this emitted photon which again interacts with one of the atom present in the cylindrical chamber, and again it emits the electron from the neutral atoms, and again it moves towards the anode, and it creates the avalanche effect. And similarly, this electron while moving towards the anode, because of Bremsstrahlung effect, a photon is emitted, and this photon again interacts with some of the gas molecules and produces the electron, and this electron moves towards the anode, and this also creates the avalanche effect. Here from single electron we are going to observe that more electrons are emitted from the gas molecules, and these all electrons are going to create the avalanche effect. And because of this avalanche effect, we are going to observe a pulse in the GM counter about the electrons. And here one more thing, the positive ions which are moving towards the cathode, and here when it reaches near cathode, here the cathode is having a negative charge and it is having a positive charge, and this positive ion, it attracts the electrons which are present in the cathode, and when this positive ion attracts the electron from the cathode, then it becomes a neutral atom. Here what happens, if the electron is having excess of energy, then what happens, it comes to the ground state by emitting a photon. And also here, if this emitted photon is having a energy greater than work function of this cathode, then this photon emits the sum of the electrons which are present in the cathode, and again this electron moves towards the anode and it creates the avalanche effect, and we don't want this avalanche effect, so we have added a quenching agent to the cylindrical gas chamber such as alcohol or methane. It is to reduce the avalanche effect because the particle is already detected in the counter. After the detection of alpha particle, here all the electrons which are produced are surrounded by central anode wire, and all the positive charges which are produced are moved towards the cathode, and after the detection all electrons are moved towards the battery and they again reaches to the anode, and after reaching anode, here the positive ions, here I am going to show, these are the positive ions which are present at the cathode, and after reaching all electrons here, these electrons are going to recombine with the positive ion and a neutral gas atoms are going to form, and it takes some amount of time, that is about 200 to 400 microseconds, and in between this time the GM counter is not able to detect any particles, charged particles, and we call this time as a dead time. Here once again I am going to explain the working of the GM counter. Here the alpha particle which enter into the cylindrical chamber and which ionize the gas molecules which are present, and after ionization positive ions and electrons are produced, and here electrons are going to attract towards the anode and positive ions are going to attract towards the cathode, and while electron moving towards anode it produces the avalanche effect, and while moving towards the anode because of the Bremsstrahlung effect a photon is emitted. Again this photon interacts with the gas atom and produces an electron and the positive ion, and again this electron which moves towards the anode, while moving it produces the avalanche effect, and also because of the Bremsstrahlung effect a photon is emitted and this process continues, and because of this single avalanche effect inside cylindrical chamber a lot of avalanche effect is created in the cylindrical chamber, and because of this avalanche effect we are going to observe that there is change in the electrical signal, and because of this change we are able to detect the incident charge particle, and after the detection all negative charges are going to surround by the anode and positive charge come towards the cathode, and this after detection these negative charges move towards the cathode and again they recombine and form a neutral atom. Okay, this is all about working of the GM counter. Here we are going to place a radioactive element, and this radioactive element is going to emit the ionizing particles. Okay, now let us see characteristic curve. For GM counter, that is here we are going to plot graph of count rate versus voltage. That is here I am going to set counting rate for 30 seconds, and here I am going to change voltage every time, that is 0. Here I am going to change voltage to 0, 50, 100 and 200, 300, 400, so on. I am going to change voltage every time, and I am going to take readings for every 30 seconds. For 0 voltage the number of particles detected by the GM counter is 0, and for 50 volt to 300 volts the particles which are detected by the GM counter is 0, and for 400 volt the particles are detected 0, and for 450 volts the number of particles are detected, we represent it by the point, this point, and for higher voltages the particles are detected for increasing voltage are like this, and for high voltages we observe that the number of particles detected are more, and if you join these points we are going to get curve like this. This is the characteristic curve for the GM counter, and here we observe that from 0 to certain voltage we observe 0 counts. At this point we are going to observe some number of counts in the GM counter, and we call this point as a starting voltage point. And here between some voltage V1 to V2 the number of counts remains same, and we call this region as a plateau region. And after crossing this plateau region, when we increase voltage we are going to observe that there is sudden increase in the detection of the particles, and we call this region as a discharge region. This is the characteristic curve of the GM count. The principle states that charged particles ionize the gas through which they pass. That is, here alpha particle is a charged particle and it passes through the gas and it ionizes the gas molecules inside the cylindrical chamber, and the electrons so produced during ionization get accelerated under high potential. That is, here during ionization electrons are produced and these electrons are going to attract towards the anode, and here a high potential is developed between cathode and anode. Because of this, these electrons are accelerated towards the anode and further they produce ionization. Because of the Bremsstrahlung effect, this accelerated electron produces further ionization, and this is about principle of the GM counter.